So hello guys, welcome back to another video in this photo editing series. My goal in this series is basically to invite you along with me as I learn how to use Affinity for photo editing, the new Affinity all-in-one app. In this video, I want to show you how I would like to edit this photograph. I took this photo in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. So now let's open a new document. Now, when it first opens, it's going to open as a raw image. Of course, it's a raw image. So in Affinity, when you open a raw image, it brings you to this raw editor interface. That's what I call it. Basically, here you can look at your raw file, look at all the information about it. So this is the raw image. It was shot at an ISO of 640, f5.6, 28mm, 1/60 shutter speed, and was shot with the Sony ZV-E1. This was when I first got my Sony ZV-E1. I was shooting with the Sony FE 28 to 70mm lens, f3.5 to 5.6. And in this video, unlike in the last one, I'm not going to do any editing here, even though there are a couple of things you can change here. You can also see the details of the image metadata here. You can see the location, scope, histogram, the focus, and so on. But like I said, we're not going to do much in this particular interface. We're just going to hit develop. If you look at the top left, upper left-hand corner, once you click develop, it takes you into the proper Affinity photo editing environment. First of all, in photo editing, for me, you have to have a strategy, have a vision, a goal for your picture in all types of photo editing. And for this one, I like this post, you know, the wooden post, the welcome to Hermitage wooden signpost. It's right, almost dead center in the photo. And to me, it's like the main focal point of the image. So we're going to enhance that impression to make it the main focal point of the image. And then just do a little thing around the color tones and so on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to remove this. This is distracting. So I want to see if I can get it out. In Affinity Photo, the way to do this is I'm going to create a pixel layer. I'm going to name it retouching. And then I'm going to go to this other end, the left side, and look for a brush. So if I come here and I long press, if you long press on any of these tools, then it shows all the options and the names of the options. So I'm going to select the in-painting brush tool. Now in the in-painting brush tool, you have to make sure that you come up here and click the current layer and below. And that's pretty much all. And then you just paint over the item that you want to move or remove. So this is very useful. Like you're trying to remove people or any dirt in the image. Yeah, like this. So once you release it, it disappears. A few more tweaks just to make it fade off. Yeah, I'll just leave it this way. I can always crop it out anyway. So it's pretty good. So the next thing I'm going to do is that I want to first of all make some adjustments, curves adjustments. This is something I usually like to do. The shortcut to do that is you just press Command M or Control M if you're using Windows, and that brings up the curves. I usually just like to play around with this, give it a little nice S shape. So I usually like to create a little S, and this just gives it a kind of like a cinematic look. That word cinematic. This end works on the highlights, and this end works on the dark areas. So if I raise it up, you can see that the dark areas become a bit faded or like matte. And if I work here, you'll see that the highlights drop a little. So this is sufficient now. The other thing I want to do is I want to control the light around the main emphasis. Like I said, the main emphasis is this. So one of the ways to control that lighting is now to come here and create a new pixel layer. I'm going to call it light control. I'll set the layer to overlay and reduce the opacity to maybe like 25 or 30%. And for this, the basic paintbrush tool is sufficient. And to get that tool, you just press B, and there we have the brush. Now, just to make sure your brush is soft, you can come to the brushes section here. Under the masking category, you can click a brush. These are hard brushes. You can see from the border, the edges are very hard, but this is a soft brush. So yeah, this is fine. And then all you need to do is increase the size. So I'm done with this. I come back to layers. So now if I press the bracket key, and the good thing about Affinity is that you can see the live changes as you move the brush across. Can you see? If I move over to this point, you can see if I increase the opacity a little bit, let me increase the opacity now so that you can see that there's a real change there. So let's leave the opacity a bit high so that you can see, so it's more visible. I come back to the brush and I paint around the main emphasis. Can you see what's happening? You can see that it's kind of darkening or reducing the amount of light around the main subject. And this is nice. What I like about it is that you can actually see the changes happening real time, even through the brush, even before you click. So now I'm going to show you the before and after. So you can see, let me show you, this is what it is originally and this is it now. So you can see that already the post is really coming out. Now this is non-destructive because the original layer is untouched. So we're done with that. Now let's do some work around the colors. One of the ways to do this is to use selective colors. Somewhere down here, click selective color. Okay. Another way to get there is to go to the top toolbar and come to pixel, then go to new adjustment layer and click on selective color. So now we have this selective color dialog box out. And if you open it for the first time, it will be on red. Let's work with the red first. So let me pull the cyan down a little bit. If you look at anything that looks red in the image, just look at what happens to it. As I pull the cyan down, the red color pops. If I pull it up, the red kind of fades out. I want the red to pop out a little. I want to give it like an autumn feel, like, you know, like it's autumn. So pop out the reds a little bit. And then another way to enhance that is to click on yellows. So basically in this selective color, why I like it is because you can really play around the colors and change the color tones selectively. So let's add some more reds to the image. So it looks like some of the leaves are already beginning to fade like it's autumn. I pull the magenta up. It kind of eliminates some of the greens, yellows as well. Okay, it's not bad. And then if I go to blacks, let's go to blacks. So if I go to black, what's happening is that we're adding color tones to the shadow area. So let's see. What color do I want to add to the shadow area to give this a good feel? This is greenish. I work with the yellows. It's going to give me some blues. The blacks are going to fade. So let me see. I think I like the greenish tone in the shadows, just a little green. And then another thing I'm going to do is some HSL adjustments. So I'll create another adjustment layer and we're going to work with the HSL, hue, saturation, and luminosity. So here, let's pick on the reds basically and try to increase the luminosity of the reds. So basically the idea is that we want the reds to be brighter, but you see when you do that, you kind of lose some saturation. If you look at the red in the image, look at the red leaves. So one way to avoid losing saturation is to click on the HSV button here. This time when we pop up the reds, it doesn't change the saturation. Now look around the underside of this post, the wooden post, to see exactly how much change has happened. Can you see that? It's brightening the reds in the shadow areas there. So that's just something that you can do to pop up the colors. Let's try yellows and see what happens with the yellows. So if you see, the yellows become brighter when I move the slider to the right, and when I move the slider to the left, the yellows become darker. I'm going to darken the yellows just a little bit, just to still emphasize everything around the focal point. I think that's sufficient for now. I think one thing I want to do now is I want to sharpen the main focus, the main subject, which is the wooden post, right? I want to add a little sharpening to it without affecting all of the rest of the image. So let's go to pixel. Let's go to a new live filter layer. Under sharpen, we have high pass and others. Let's use high pass. You can use any of these, or let's start with clarity. So let's improve the clarity of this image. If I pull it all the way to the right, you can see that the clarity has increased. One way to see this very well is to zoom to 100%, and the shortcut to do that is to press Command 1. So this brings it up to 100%. Now if I increase the strength of clarity, you can see how it's changing. If I reduce it, you can see, if you look at the post, the wooden post, it becomes much clearer as I pull it all the way to the right. And so I'm going to just make it like maybe 80%. This is fine. If you press Command 0, it brings the image back to fit the screen. And so if you want to see the effect, I like this because even the grass around here becomes clearer with it. Let's also still add the sharpening. So I come back to the pixel tab, live filter layer, and this time I click on high pass. Now what happens with the high pass is that it puts a gray cover over it. And what you're supposed to do is to pull this slider gradually until you begin to see the outline of the things you want to sharpen. the outline of some of the details. Let's click on monochrome and then set the blend mode to soft light. And this brings the image back and makes it visible. So if you want to see the effects, you can click on this to show and remove. So like I said, I want to apply this only to the wooden post. So one of the ways to do that is to click on the mask layer and add a mask to it. And then if I right click on the mask, I'll see invert mask. And so when I click on it, it inverts the mask, which means that it takes the effect off and allows you to brush the effect back in using a brush. So to see this clearly, I'm going to go back to 100%, Command 1, and I'm going to reduce the size of this brush by pressing the left bracket key. And then I'm going to go back to default white here, make sure it's on white. And then I'm going to paint in and paint the sharpening effect back in. I hope I'm doing this right. It worked the other time. Yeah, I think I'm doing it right. Yes. So make sure the brush is on white and you can now brush it in to see the effect. So what I've been able to do so far is I've been able to reduce the amount of light and exposure around the main subject. Like I said, when I started, this is my approach to editing. When you see an image, don't just jump in and start editing. Have a vision of what you want. And one of the ways to get a vision of what you want is to decide on what the main subject is in your photo. What's the main character? The main character in this photo story is this wooden post right in the center that says, "Welcome to Hermitage Wood." For me, it says a lot. The way it was set right there, how it looks in the frame, and I want to emphasize that. So what I've done is to reduce the amount of exposure around it, and I've changed the color tones a bit to give it a more warm autumn feel, like we're in fall, and just to add some character to the leaves. I've also sharpened the main subject. So when I look at the image, to me, I think that I've done most of what I want to do to it. Affinity Photo is great because these changes are non-destructive. Each change has its own layer, so I can always come back here. Let's come back to the curves adjustment. As you see, when I click on it, it pulls it up and I can just, make the changes I need to make to suit the image. I can also come to the light control. Remember the light control? This is where we darkened everything around the main subject. This is good to me. I can always come here and reduce the opacity of it. I can increase the opacity of it. The selective color adjustment, I can always come here, tweak it again, work around the blacks. Yeah, this looks good. If I come back, I can add another layer just to work around the overall saturation, or for the white balance, let's try white balance to make the image warmer or cooler, or just to adjust the tint. I'm going to leave it, and I can just delete this by clicking on backspace. So this is our final image. I'm going to shift and select all of these and click on the eye symbol on the right here, just so that we can see before and after. So this is before. Like I said, the original image is untouched. And you can see even the little sign on the gate at the extreme right is back where it was before. And then if I click the eye back, everything comes back to how I want it to be, which is great. So guys, this is just a very quick look into Affinity, the photo editing environment, the pixel environment. I started by showing you how to import this image, the raw image, into Affinity. And when you do that, it opens a raw panel where you can see all the information about the image, and you can actually make some quick edits there as well. And then when you hit develop, it takes you straight into the editing environment. And we've done all of this work. I hope this has been helpful. I hope you found it interesting. I've learned a lot from doing this. I've learned how to organize my layers, make sure I label them just so that I know exactly what I'm doing. Just a good way to keep track of your editing, and makes it more professional, helps you to be more organized. One more thing I'll say is that you can save this complete file with all of these adjustment layers and filters by coming here, clicking Save As. And when you click Save As, you can decide where in your computer you want to save it. And you can leave it as the original name, as with the photo. But I'll just change it and I'll say, "Welcome to Hermitage Wood." And so when I save it as an Affinity file, if I close this by pressing Command W or Control W, I can come back and open Recent and click Welcome to Hermitage Wood. And yeah, we're back. And you can see all of the adjustment layers are still there. And if I want to quickly export this, so I can post it maybe on Facebook, I can come up. If you look up, there's an export PNG. By default, it's on PNG, but I can click on JPEG, right? Leave all the other settings, just leave it that way. And if I click export JPEG, it opens up here. So I'm going to call this welcome to image with JPEG, save, and there you go. That's the image that I just edited. Beautiful, beautiful. So that's the end of this particular video tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. And please make sure you watch the other videos in the series. Expect more videos, and please let me know in the comments if you've downloaded and if you're using Affinity and what your experience has been. And if you'd like me to show anything in particular or any technique, like I said, I'm not an expert on Affinity Photo, but I'm enjoying it. It's fast, it's easy to learn. The learning curve is not so steep. So that's about it, guys. Let me know what you think about this video. And please drop a comment, drop a like, and make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video real soon.